This is not a battle between different faiths, different sects, or different civilizations. This is a battle between barbaric criminals who seek to obliterate human life and decent people, all in the name of religion. People that want to protect life and want to protect their religion. This is a battle between good and evil.
Developing tonight, President Trump boldly stating the battle against terror is not a battle between different faiths, different sects, or different civilizations, but good and evil. Joining me now with a reaction, former U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander and President of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, Dr. Judy Jasser. Doctor, good to have you back on Justice.
Great to be with you, Judge.
Thank you. The speech that the President gave today seems to have reset or rebooted relations between the United States and the Middle East. Can it happen so quickly?
Well, certainly this is why he got such a warm welcome. The Sunni world, which is 90% of the Muslim world in the Arab area, has seen 8 years of abandonment. They saw everything dumped at the altar of this fake Iran deal with pallets of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars going into Tehran. Now they see a president who will shore up the coalitions necessary to defeat ISIS. They see a president who will hold them accountable to not only defeating ISIS, but radical Islam. This is why this new Center on Counterterrorism is important, because left unguided, left unled, the Sunni regimes will ultimately feed the ideology like Qatar, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia did in radicalizing the Syrian rebels and others. So this new leadership relationship will hold them accountable, and they welcome that because they need some leadership and guidance. And we're seeing a rebooting of the balance that was stability in the 20th century that was lost in the last 8 years of Obama's surrender. What
happened that, as the President indicated, for generations Christians, Jews, and Muslims lived together in this holy land? What happened that broke that? What was the beginning of the destruction?
Well, I think ultimately the world is starting to witness where Islam is in its history right now. We are going through an enlightenment, a reformation, and a understanding of a respect for secularism and the need to separate mosque and state, just as created the French and the American revolutions. And this is why what's very different in today's world versus even the Cairo speech of '09 of Obama or President Bush's era, post-Arab awakening, these regimes are roiling with a groundswell of an Arab awakening that ultimately, that's why I hope the next speech from President Trump will use the words freedom, democracy, and liberty. Because ultimately, yes, he might develop a coalition to destroy and decimate ISIS, but in the long term, radical Islamist groups will keep coming back unless we start to feed the diversity of thought, the time in which Islam is in its history, so that we can bring back that time in which there was stability, cooperation between the faiths, there was a lack of kinetic, radical, viral Islamist ideology that wants to just decimate everything else, and that time to reboot that is now.
Well, you know, as a military man, you were in the Navy. I mean, when the President says he's going to obliterate ISIS, but at the same time, and he seems to be doing well on that front, but at the same time he's saying the Muslim world has got to work with us, we can't do it for you. I mean, you know, Obama said the same thing, but why is the reception so different? Why is President Trump, who's just so newly in office, able to deliver with such credibility his argument?
Well, because President Obama did it from a position of beginning and ending by blaming America, by blaming the West in a almost self-flagellating apologetic, versus President Trump making no apologies, telling them to drive them out, telling them that we will isolate Iran and genocidal Assad regime. That is a language that they have not heard in a long time, which is true leadership from the front rather than from the back, or if any at all. So I think they refreshingly need leadership. The Arab tribal community respects leadership. even if they tell them what to do or what not to do. And I think that will go a long way to stabilizing the region.
Well, they respect strength, and they respect leadership, and they respect honesty. And what's interesting is that the president went in saying, I'm not going to tell you how to live, and, you know, or impose my sense of what you need to do. Anyway, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, so good to have you back on Justice. Thanks so much.
Anytime. Thanks, Judge.
All right. And